You know, it's not about posting every single day. It's really about the message and the truth behind your story. This world has sped up so much that makes you think you on time when you're really late. And you're not late because you failed. You're late because that hesitation is stealing moments from you can't get back. And most people get stuck, but not because of lack of their own talents. It's really because they're waiting for permission to go. And you can't wait for permission to move. Today, I want us to talk about these moments and how when you feel that pull forward and that resistance trying to pull you back all at the same time. Yo, what's going on, family? This is Word Forward. Welcome to Word Forward, episode 1. And if you're here, it's not by accident. You asked to be here, and the algorithm brought you here. So welcome. I'm happy to see you. This podcast is only for those people who are tired of being sold clarity, and they're finally ready to learn it for themselves. So I'm your host, Damien J and today we're going to be talking about something real. Motivation always, hype never. But this is the real truth that's going to help you grow. And it usually will feel uncomfortable. But that discomfort usually means that you're exactly where you need to be, right? I'm going to say this real clear, though. It's not about how much you post, how many times you post during the day. It's about the value that lives inside of what you're trying to say. And a replay value, high replay value, will matter more than just the frequency, right? Anybody could post, right? But not everybody has the right message. And a lot of people don't have that replay value or something that is worth replaying or running back, if you say. Success to me, right? I know it's never going to be microwave. It's always a slow cooked meal for real. And you got to be ready to chef that. It takes patience, and it's going to take a lot of your time. You might think you know it all, and you'll get shown that you really don't know enough. And nobody wants to hear that. Because slow growth looks really, it doesn't look impressive online or in front of other people. When you're talking about being successful, people want you to show it off. They want social proof. They want to see what you're talking about really exists. They want you to prove it. How? How are you going to prove that? Do you have to show them everything you have? Do you have to go in the bank and take out a few racks so you can prove it to people that you got money in the bank? Because it has to be the fastest way to lose money is trying to prove that you have it. You never really have to sell anything worth value to somebody. I've never seen a Bentley commercial, right? You've seen tons of Honda commercials. Better yet, you see Hyundai and Kia commercials more than you see Honda commercials. So that just lets you know where they are on the totem pole. They literally they sell themselves. The Honda sells itself at this point. And that's exactly what your content should do. That's exactly what your words should mean. Your word should be a bond. It should mean what it means. You put your full self behind what you're saying, and people can really feel that. They believe in you because you believe in yourself. The moment that you recognize your own worth, you don't got to convince nobody else how much you're worth. They're going to see it. But, hey, if that applies to you, take it. You know what I'm saying? They say if it don't apply, let it fly. I'm pretty sure a lot of us understand that because I've been through it. We all go through it. Trying to impress people with no money is crazy when you think about it. Like, if we both broke, why am I going to go more broke trying to show you I'm not broke? That makes no sense. But a lot of people do that. I've done it. We have to all change at some point. And I have people looking up to me in my family. My kids, they can't see me doing those kind of things because then, I'm not teaching them. They can't see daddy coming home drunk from partying on a Tuesday night. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. You got to see where your priorities are and place them where they belong, But here's something I learned the hard way. When you step in towards that new you always get this pullback feeling. It's like a resistance, like a rubber band. It's almost like it's gonna snap at you if you don't fall into that resistance. And when you step in towards something, people don't always want to celebrate. You might want to pull back so you can not make them feel bad about your progression. And you can't pull yourself back to pull someone out. You have to offer them a ladder. If they don't take it, you can't step down to push someone else up. They have to come and meet. They have to meet you where you are. You can't go back down to where they are. That'll be the wrong move for you to do. It'll take time away from everything you just did to put yourself in a position, and they won't respect the work. You know, a lot of people that never put in the work won't respect the work that it took to get there. You know, if you just give someone money instead of them working for it, they'll spend it a lot faster than if they work for it for themselves. Some people can do that, but then there's people that are just bad with money, you know? That's why you really shouldn't lend money to people. I mean, honestly, only lend something to someone that you know you can get it back. Like, you know this person has a job. So lending them some money, the probabilities of you getting paid back are high. Higher than someone that doesn't have money. So if you already don't have money and then you want to ask somebody for money, how do you think they're going to trust you to pay it back? The same thing with a bank. Bank, same way. You think you're going to get you a house, but you bought you the car first? Nah. They going to look at you that you bought the house, that you bought the car instead of the house. Your priorities are already messed up. The bank ain't going to trust you. You can get a loan for the house later on after the car, but you're going to have to pay a higher interest because now you're not trustworthy. But if you had no strikes on you and then you went to go get the house first, oh yeah, they look at you like, oh yeah, you're going to pay that back. You know what I'm saying? You're going to pay that back because you need a place to live. See, it's all in perspective. You know, you need to know exactly what you're trying to do before you do it. And don't try to impress people that don't have anything, because then you're going to be just like them in the end. Y'all both going to be sitting there with nothing because you tried to impress a fool. I'm going to say that straight like it what it is. You know, you don't want to sit there and argue with a fool. You don't know who's who. You know what I mean? People can't tell if you telling the truth or if you lying. You know? But that pullback feeling that you usually feel is because you're trying to tell yourself that you're not ready for the next level. Or maybe you're just giving in to the voice that's saying, you know what, maybe I'm not ready for this, or maybe I'm not that person I thought I was. That imposter syndrome will knock you right off your ladder if you let it. But that's why you need to put other people or have other people in your circle that are moving the same direction as you so you can pull each other up. You know, because it's not easy for either one of y'all. So, you know, if that person is stronger and able to pull themselves up and then you're not, maybe you do need to talk to that person and find out some tactics. How did you get out of that? What made you, how did you realize you needed to do this instead of that? And you put yourself in the right vicinity to win. I was told one time, I know y'all probably heard this before, but if you want to be successful, surround yourself with successful people. You know, 4 successful people have a friend. The 5th friend is going to be successful because he's hanging with 4 successful friends. You know? And that's just how it works. It's just how it works. You know, you rub off on each other because you want each other to grow, for real. You know, there's so many people that don't want you to be ahead of them. And that's exactly why I run with the no gatekeeping mantra, because when I know something, when I'm learning something, I'm going to pass that knowledge on so that you can figure out what you can take from my story or something that I've done and maybe help you and your family, and so on and so on. And if we're all progressively getting better, we'll all help each other out. We'll all be able to help the next person build up to become better, and so on and so on. You know, a bunch of bums is just going to be surrounded by a bunch of bums. You're not going to really get anywhere together. You know, there's no teamwork in that. It's all selfishness because each bum wants more than the other. They want to be better than the other bum, and you're fighting for bum positions. That's crazy. We all need to just look at the facts of life. Facts of life will show you the best parts of learning is being around people that you can learn from and not wasting your time learning the hard way. If you could speed up your time and learn it a little bit quicker, why not? You know, that'll just avoid your stress levels. You know, you really be avoiding that stillness of just standing still and procrastinating. You know, not because you're weak, it's because you're not chasing that voice in your head. We all got that voice that we hear, right? And some of us don't listen to it. You know, the voice might be saying, you know what, get up today, write that down. Or right after you take your shower, go turn your camera on and get dressed, turn your camera on, and go record this verse, right? Anything. You know what? You say you wanted to jump into the stock market, but you spent $200 on Jordans. Okay. You have a whole bunch of sneakers already. You could have waited to put that $200 on on a ticker. You know what I'm saying? Put $200 in the IRA every week. Build your own 401k. See, these are the things that we need to be telling each other. Give each other like options, because a lot of times a lot of people don't know that they have options for real. You living stuck because that's all you know. You know what I'm saying? You live in check to check because nobody told you how to take your money from the savings account and put it into the stock market. It's better that way. No one told you that. See what I'm saying? This is the corner where you're going to meet those ends. You're going to find out the biology to the life for real. It's not just in motivation, it's in action. You know what I'm saying? It's in the less stressful moments because you're doing things right. And nobody's going to take you serious unless you take you serious. I mean that with love. But most people, they only lack the opportunities because they're not putting themselves, they're trying to outsource their responsibilities for real. And, they blame time, they blame money and circumstances, and it's really just growth. And you need to just get started right away, not tomorrow. Do it yesterday. That's how you need to be on your grind. Start yesterday. You keep asking the same questions because the voice is still knocking on your brain. You still want help, but you have the answers. Some people call it intuition. Some people call it God. Some people call it purpose. Whatever you want to call it, it's nudging at you to move forward. It's telling you to move. And the crazy part about that too? If you're not where you want to be at, it's probably because you keep avoiding that voice. You keep avoiding that one thing you need to do to push yourself forward. I mean, what else you need to do but care about yourself, care about your future, right? It didn't work for me until I started to care about what I wanted in my future. And sometimes, like I was trying to say last week, it might be your kid. It might be, something that you seen and it just wanted you to change your life. You know what I'm saying? You say, you know what? I want to be a better person, But whatever made you click into that moment, hold on to that and run with it. Because that's exactly those are your propellers. That's your wing. Those are your wings. Now you just need the wind. You need the wind to push you. And that's usually what I'm trying to do with people. I want to be the wind beneath you to push you forward, to get you off the ground. You can fly. You could be whoever you want to be. But the first thing you need to do is start. The second thing you need to do is continue. And that's it. The third thing you need to do is stay present. Those three things will help you become successful. I kid you not. And if you have patience with yourself, it's going to work. This year matters a lot. This is a huge year for all of us to win. 2026 has motion written all over it. Even look at this month. February is literally laced with opportunity. It's 28 days in this month. Okay. But the first day fell on a Sunday, which is the first day of the week. So if you started on the first day of the month, you will already be 7 days in. You have a week of consistency already in front of you. And I want to be the self-study to show you what consistency could look like. It turns into polished work, Nobody starts off perfect, but you start off, right? Start off perfect, but you got to start, There's no excuses, no padding, no cushion. This is the month that you make a promise to yourself and just keep it. Just move. You know what I mean? It's Black history every day. Our history didn't start with just chains and boats and slavery. We had wisdom way before it existed to people that misread and misunderstood us. Unity and real unity, it starts individually with accountability. That's how we keep them chains broken. And look at us today. Black people are moving in every direction of success. So there's no excuse on race. There's no excuse on culture. I mean, you could see so many people from different races and cultures get into their bag right now, teaching people about their culture and letting that be the bag, It's literally, it's not hard anymore. let me ask you something. What's the thing you've been feeling that you're being called to do, but you keep finding a reason not to start? And what could change that in your life so that you can do the thing that will change your life? If you stopped ignoring the voice, what do you think could happen? I want you to sit with that for a little bit. We can't keep running from that voice that God has inside of us. Is telling us to move on purpose, with purpose. That one jump, that one leap you're not doing, that one sentence you fail to write down every day is costing you that book you wanted to write. It's costing you that screenplay that you wanted to direct. That pencil that you keep avoiding to pick up and not draw that art that you said that you was going to do yesterday, last month. It's costing you an art gallery that you said that you wanted to be at one day. It's costing you that last page that you didn't write, that verse you never finished. It's costing you that album you said you wanted to drop. It's costing you the listeners that can help you win for real. All I'm saying is you need to pick yourself up one day. Stop being scared of the possibilities of you caring more than you should. If this episode spoke to you, make sure you subscribe and like and share this to someone else who needs it. Join that inner circle and follow me on all platforms. All the links are in my description. We can make it together, y'all. We can do this together. It's been another fun week talking to y'all. I wanted to drop a few notes on y'all, man. I want you to win. That's my love language. I want us all to win. And it's never going to be easy. It's never going to be easy. But I appreciate you pulling up. And this is Word Forward. Let's push that message. Let's continue to grow. Let's stay consistent. I'll see you next week.